Hello, 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 everyone. Oh, I got on lip gloss. I forgot to switch. Got me sitting here looking all greasy about the lips. It'll be all right. It's Sunday. So hello, everyone, and welcome to the bag on Facebook. And oh my gosh, I can't believe this is the last time I'm gonna say it like that. And we're only on day 14. In case you missed my previous announcement let me get it on my phone real quick. Sorry, y'all, so I can be ready, ready, ready. All right, there we go. Hey, Renarda. So, welcome to the bag live on Facebook, and this is the last time that I will be saying that, even though we're only on day 14. Because in case you missed my previous announcement, starting on Monday, the bag live, that's going to be its new name now, just the bag live, will be streaming on Facebook and LinkedIn at 7:30 p.m. each night. For the remainder of the 30-day series. So if you've been catching it here on Facebook, just keep coming to the same place. I'm just going to be, I guess I'm getting like another channel or something for my other audience. So I'm kind of geeked about that. So if you're new to this, hello, my name is Yolanda Churchwell, and I am the System Solutionist. I help women entrepreneurs take the hassle out of their hustle so they can make more money and have more free time. Um, but anywho, welcome to Soulful Sunday. I decided to name it that. Today's topic is it's time to get bossy. So I hope you have, yes, I hope you have a pen and paper today. Because on Sundays I come full of scriptures to help get you through the week. And while you grab that, let me just say that I don't know about you, but early Thursday morning, last week's list came in really handy. So I decided to name Sundays Soulful Sunday and make it a tradition. So we're going to jump right in. Um, so I've said it time and time again. Your business will never grow bigger than you. Okay. So as you, the person. So for every level of personal growth that you experience, you open the door for your business to go to the next level. So on Sundays, I like to dedicate our time to personal growth, hence Soulful Sundays. This week, I've titled our time together, It's Time to Get Bossy, to describe what you need to do to be the boss or the Fortune 100 CEO that is within you. So I woke up this morning and God gave me this, and I feel really good about it. So down the left-hand side of your paper, write the letters BOSSY, BOSSY, leaving some room for notes in between each letter. Okay? So let's jump right in. B is for boundaries. Boundaries. The first thing that you have to do in order to be a boss is to set boundaries. Okay, so boundary is defined as personal boundaries are defined as guidelines or rules or limits that you create to identify reasonable, safe, and permissible ways for other people to behave toward you and how you will respond when someone passes those limits. So it's not only setting the limits, the boundaries, what you're willing to put up with, it's what you will do if someone steps over those boundaries. So you know how they say draw the line in the sand? If they cross the line, what are you going to do about it? So boundaries help us to take responsibility for our lives and the choice and our choices. And it's the same for other people. Because my mom always says for every choice you make, there's consequences. So sometimes they're good, sometimes they're bad, sometimes it's a combination. And that's based out of Galatians. I'm not going to read all the verses because I got quite a few, but it's Galatians chapter 6, verses 2 through 5. And that's how boundaries help you to take responsibility for your own life and your choices. Boundaries, clear and healthy boundaries, first of all, clear and healthy boundaries help us to avoid unnecessary pain, stress, and misunderstandings. They help us to live a life that is subject to control and wait. They help us to avoid living a life that is subject to control and the desires of others. That's real important, okay? Boundaries allow you to be you. to live your best life. You don't have to feel like you have to please people. I used to be a people pleaser, and I had to learn how to not be caring what people say. And sometimes I think my pendulum went too far the other way, because sometimes I probably should care a little bit more, but it'll level out. I'm not worried about it. Boundaries allow us to have room to grow and thrive freely. Okay? So when we abide by one another's boundaries, when you respect mine and I respect yours, it demonstrates respect, humility, and love. Boundaries are required for every type of relationship, whether that be a friendship, if you're dating, if you're married, with your parents and the kids, your family, your work, the ministry, or any other type of relationship that you might have. You need boundaries. Proverbs 25:17, and I like the message version of this because it sounds so much like me. It says, when you find a friend, don't outwear your welcome. Show up at all hours, or she'll soon get fed up. My granddaddy used to say, familiarity breeds contempt. You don't need to be up under people all the time. And one of the ways that you know that sometimes you're doing too much is if you find you always going to somebody else's house and they don't come to yours, they really don't really care about you like that. And when you, like when we were little and we would go spend the night at one of our friends' houses, if you said you was going to spend the night, I had to be home by 10 a.m. in the morning because you spent the night. You're not going to spend the night and the day. So by 10 o'clock, you need to be coming on in the door because y'all should have stayed up and giggled all night and then come on home. So remember, familiarity breeds contempt. So be careful when you build these new relationships and stuff, boundaries. Right. You ain't got to be up underneath people. Also know that part of boundaries is you reap what you sow. Colossians 4:6. Treat other people how you want to be treated. But know how you treat people, even if you feel like nobody knows, God knows, and you will reap what you sow. So don't be trying to be on the slick and in the slide with people. Just be upfront. One, that's the best way to be anyway. But two, you don't want that to come back on you later on. And then we also teach people how to treat us. Let me stop hitting my desk. I'm making my computer jump. Teach people how to treat you. And be okay with how you have to change how you move when they overstep those boundaries. 2 Corinthians 7 verses 8 and 9 says, and I like this so much, it says, I am not sorry that I sent that severe letter to you. This is Paul, because it's in Corinthians. It says, I am not sorry that I sent that severe letter to you, though I was sorry at first, for I know it was painful to you for a little while. Now I'm glad I sent it, not because it hurt you, but because the pain caused you to repent and change your ways. It was the kind of sorrow God wants his people to have, so you were not harmed by it in any way. I like that. I'm sorry, I had never heard that version of it, but I like that. I like that a lot. Sometimes you got to do what you got to do, and it might hurt people, but that hurt is so that they can realize that they did something wrong. Because let me tell you, because I've been a fan of Tyler Perry since the very, 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 very beginning. Very beginning. I didn't come on late. I've been there since the beginning. I would drive across the state to see a play. But he said at the end of one of those plays or during one of them plays, because he always have those Medea moments where she have all that wisdom. And he said, if you tell somebody what they doing to you hurts you and they don't change, they don't care. But if you tell somebody what they doing, it bothers you and they try to change, even if they don't change, but they try, that's somebody that you keep in your life. But if they don't try to change, they keep doing what they want to do, you let them go. That's boundaries. You set the way that people are supposed to treat you. And if they don't abide by that, then you have to change how you deal with them. Because we can't be upset and say that people are running over us when we set the boundary and then there's no consequences for the choices that they made. So what I want you to do this week is ask God to give you the courage to firmly establish boundaries and then get out of his way. Get out of his way, because biblical boundaries are an act of love. And when you're acting in love, he will always have your back. And sometimes you don't have to cut people off. He'll let them fall off. Okay. So that's B. B is boundaries. Okay. So now we're going to go into the O. O is for open. O is for open. Open is defined as not closed or blocked up. It is allowing passage, allowing something to go through, to come in. Luke 24:25 says, "Then he opened their minds so they could understand." And he was speaking specifically about the scriptures. But when you have an open mind, your mind has to be open for you to be able to have some level of understanding. You can't comprehend, you can't understand. If you don't do those two, then you can't apply, you can't implement. So you have to start first with an open mind. Your mindset should be that you are open to all things of God. Let's be clear about that. Because an open mind leads to understanding and a closer relationship with God. And we know that when you put God first, was that Matthew 6:33? Seek ye first the kingdom of heaven and all things will fall according to it. I think that's Matthew 6:33. When you're closer to God, then things will just come to you. You have to put him first. A closed mind makes us blind to the truth. And if you're blind to the truth, then you're unable to be honest or act with integrity. And one thing that I never want to do is for somebody to say I didn't have any integrity. That's real big. That's a character flaw. I can deal with people making mistakes. We're going off on a tangent. Y'all know me. I can deal with people making mistakes. I can deal with people having an accident. I can deal with a one-time thing. But when you have something like an absence of integrity, when you have a bad character trait, that's just something that's in you. And I'm not willing to stick around while you figure that out. Because sometimes you don't figure it out. And I'm not going to keep getting burned. So a closed mind makes you blind to the truth. So what I want you to do is when I say open mind, I don't want you to get confused with the worldly views that contradict his word. The things that say, well, you have to be open-minded and believe what people say and give it a chance. No, I need to be careful what I allow in here. Because what I allow to myself to see and to hear, and then it get in here and it get to moving around. I was telling a friend of mine today that when you operate at a level of intelligence, Satan knows that if he can get in your mind, it's a playground because your mind is so strong. So you have to guard your mind. You have to go above and beyond to make sure that you keep your mind safe. I know that if he gets in my mind, my imagination is so vast that I will be off thinking about things that couldn't possibly even happen, but it's because I allowed him space. He can't have no space up in here. There's no vacancy. It's a big sign right here. You can't see it, but it says no vacancy. Not for him. So remember that we live in a world where it's commonplace to believe that Christian beliefs, our beliefs, are viewed as personal opinion or values instead of facts. No, this is facts. It's real. It's real. And know that Satan does not have the power to create. Okay, he don't have the power to create anything. So what he tries to do is to distort it and redefine what God has already put in place. So God says, have an open mind. And then Satan tries to come in and say, well, you need to be open to absolutely everything. No, I don't. I only need to be open to the stuff over here. So be open, but know what you're supposed to be open to. As a boss, you have to be open. Okay. And make sure that you're looking to God first. If you get confused, go to him first. And so the two things that you will do this week is one, ask God to give you discernment to see things as he sees them. And two, read his word so that your mind is filled with the truth. So even when you get in situations where things pop up, you have so much of that in your head that it starts to fight it before you even realize it's a fight going on, so you can go get you some help. Go read you some new scriptures, but you got enough up there that it's working. Okay? So that's open. Now the S's, it's two S's in Bossy, they go together. They like twins. So I'm going to start with one, and then I'm going to move into the other one, but then they kind of tie together, okay? And I kind of lost track of where they tie together. So just go with me. It's going to make sense. So the first S is for self-full. Selfull. Self-full. That's not to be confused with selfish or selfless. So selffulness, not selfishness, and not selflessness. Self-full. So you're not full of yourself, but you are self-full, which just means that you focus on improving your well-being without disregarding others. You focus on improving your well-being without disregarding others. So you're not selfish in that everything is a me, 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 you're a prima donna, not that. But you're not so selfless that you're so giving of yourself that there's nothing for you. Because both of those are sins. Those are the two ends of the spectrum, being completely selfish and being completely selfless. Those are sins. You have to find that balance in the middle. You have to use some moderation and find self-full. Selfull. Self-full. Okay? As women, especially Black women, we have a tendency to put everything and everyone before ourselves. Being selfful says that I'm going to practice self-care and do some things for me first. And that's absolutely certainly okay. Mark chapter 6, verse 31 says, "And he said to them, 'Come away by yourselves to a desolate place and rest a while.' For many were coming and going, and they had no leisure even to eat." So if God told people to go away for a minute, why is that a sin? Why are we not doing that? Why are we not taking those moments that we need for ourselves? Take those moments. Whether they're completely personal in nature or not, it is perfectly okay for you to take some time for yourself on a consistent basis at regular intervals. If you remember, I told you a little while ago, a few days ago, that the way my schedule was set up on my 9 to 5, I worked 4 9-hour days, and then on Fridays I worked from 7:30 to 11:30. When I punched out at 11:30, I went to get my hair done. I went to Hi Janine. I went to get my nails done, and I went to happy hour with Janine. As a matter of fact, you're right on time with Janine, and that's something I did every Friday. Never changed until the pandemic. And I still kept some parts of that, even staying home and quarantining. Make sure that you take the time for you to get your mind right. If you don't, then you will burn out or you will lose it. We've all seen people lose it and go postal. So when you're on a plane, what do they tell you about your oxygen mask? They tell you to put yours on first before you help someone else. How you going to help somebody, offer somebody something when you don't have something to give? It's very important that we take care of ourselves. Selfful is loving ourselves. The Bible commands us to love God and love one another, but it also says in Mark 12:31, you shall love your neighbor as yourself. Well, how do you love your neighbor right if you don't love yourself right? Have you ever been in the presence of somebody who don't like themselves? They real hard on themselves, like not just like in one moment, but all the time. You know how uncomfortable that can be? Like you just kind of look at them out the side of your eye, like you don't know whether to pray or run because they unhappy. And it's probably because they don't know how to love themselves. They're not taking enough time for themselves. They're so empty. You can't demonstrate what you don't have inside of you. So there's a healthy place between selfishness and selflessness, and that's selfful. And please don't let people bully you because I was a victim of this for so long, and I'm not even going to tell y'all how deep it had got. But I was a victim of this for so long, where people would use 1 Corinthians 13, chapter 4-8, where it talks about what love is, and tell me that I needed to change my behavior. They would tell me that love was tolerant, like I'm supposed to put up with everything from everybody. Let's go back to the first one, B, boundaries. Get you some boundaries and put them in place. And they would tell you what love is so that they could get what they wanted or what they needed. Don't let people do you like that. That's not what that meant. Love doesn't mean that you allow people to run over you, abuse you. You don't have to do that. God has boundaries. He doesn't always tell me yes. Does he always tell you yes? Because he doesn't always tell me yes. And since I'm made in his image, then I feel like I should have boundaries and take care of myself. And it's okay to go off and be with yourself. And I say be with yourself because I tell people all the time, I'm not by myself. I'm with myself. I'm some of the best company I could ever have. That's part of the reason that you call me because you want me to come around. But being with myself is one of the best. I have no problem taking myself to dinner, going taking myself to the movies, getting dressed up, going somewhere. I like being. I can sit on the couch with myself and watch TV. Me and myself can Netflix and chill. We can have a glass of wine. We can eat chocolate. I love myself. And I like to spend time with myself. And as a matter of fact, I need so much time with myself, or I'm not good around people because I'm an introvert. I have to recharge. And so I need it more than some people do. So make sure that you're spending time with yourself. But if you choose to stay by yourself, that's cool. But I'm just trying to, again, always be open. Be open to a new mindset. You're not by yourself, you with yourself. Me and Jesus, we be up in here. We have a good time. When I get off of this live, we're gonna have a very good time. We're gonna watch the Law and Orders that I missed during the week and have a glass of wine and unwind for tomorrow. Spend time with yourself. So just a few more scriptures that can help you with that are Psalm 28:7, Philippians 4:13, and Psalm 18:2. And part of Psalm 18:2, it actually the phrase says to take refuge in God. That's what I just said. Me and Jesus, we finna chill. I'm gonna be still. If it's something he needs to tell me, he gonna tell me. Because I'm gonna be still. You have to be strong on your own and able to be strong and to serve others. And if you're in business for the right reason to help people, then that's serving people. You can't help somebody, you can't serve somebody if you're not taking care of yourself. So in order to be the best CEO that you can, because believe me, I'm not off topic. I know exactly what I'm saying. This seems like it's real biblical, which it is, but that's how you improve. That's how you grow as a person. And when you grow as a person, then your business can grow. So you can't be that boss, you can't be that CEO until you start to do these things. You got to boss up. You have to set boundaries, be open, be selfful. Philippians 4:6 and 7 says, do not be anxious about anything, but in everything by prayer and supplication with thanksgiving, let your requests be made known to God. And the peace of God, which surpasses all understanding, will guard your hearts and minds by Christ Jesus. Let me tell you something. I didn't know till I was about 40 years old what it really means to have the peace beyond the peace that surpasses all understanding. That means, when you see them memes and stuff that it say they just that unbothered, something be on fire and they don't even, that's that peace that surpasses all understanding. If it's not happening to me directly, I'm good. When you get that level of peace, and it take you a minute to get it because it comes with some maturity. But I'm telling you, if you haven't gotten it yet, keep looking forward to it because it's a wonderful thing. I look for it now sometime. On days that it's not there, I'm like, Jesus, where the peace at? And then Proverbs 11:7 says, a man who is kind benefits himself, but a cruel man hurts himself. So be kind to others and be kind to yourself. If you hurting yourself and you kind to others, you still doing damage. So then the second S, the twin, is say no. N-O, very short word, 2 letters, N-O. They actually already in the alphabet side by side. You just swap them around. N-O. Can I be completely honest and say this is something that I've been learning for a while? This is something I had to learn because I didn't do it. And now I think, again, my pendulum is swung because now I tell people no. And sometimes they don't even get a chance. No. But no is a complete sentence. And it doesn't require any explanation. It's actually, like I said, the twin to selfful. Because sometimes it's for your own sanity. It's for your own peace of mind. Matthew 5:37 actually says, say yes or no. Let your yes be yes and let your no be no and end it with that. I mean, I don't know how else to say no is a complete sentence. I mean, Jesus, he made it so plain. I'm telling you, if we read this Bible, it's just, but let me tell you something. Part of the reason that some people have to grow into no is because no takes you being humble, it takes you being courageous, and it takes you being wise. It takes you loving yourself and loving others. Because sometimes you have to be transparent when you say no. Sometimes you have to tell people why you say a no. Yes, no is a complete sentence, but sometimes it helps for you to tell people why. I just did this yesterday too. I took the time and explained to somebody, look, where I'm at right now, I've never been in this place in my life before. And sometimes I'm a little tired. I've never been tired before. I always been Wonder Woman. I am not her no more. And I want to do some things for me. I want to be a little selfful. So I'm not going to be able to do that. And do you know what they said when I explained it to them? Because they love me. They said, okay. Not only did they say, okay, but they said, is there anything that I can help you with? Is there anything I can take off your plate? That's been my last response to two people I talked to yesterday. So you'd be surprised. Sometimes people waiting on you to need them, because especially if it's people you've always been there for. So learn how to say no. And it doesn't have to be nasty or anything. Just say no. And when you care enough and it's a real relationship and you take the time to be transparent, they will appreciate it and they'll meet you where you're at. If that's not a boss move, I don't know what a boss move is. You got to be on your grownness. It's not in God's plan for us to be spread thin and say yes to everyone and everything to please people. If somebody wants you to do something that's not in line with who you are, I want you to read Isaiah chapter 59. It talks about how our sin can separate us from God. Sometimes people's sin separate them from you. Not saying that you're God, but when you operate in here and people operating here, I'm not saying you better than nobody. I'm just saying they operating at a different realm. We all know that's possible. Sometimes you got to put some separation, and that's okay. But this is what I want you to do, because this is what I had to ask myself. Why do you say yes all the time? Is it because, like I said, you need to feel a need to please people? Or does saying yes make you feel useful, important, and proud of yourself? I'll be honest, I used to be that. I used to feel like, oh yeah, if I say yeah, then people, yeah, they think yeah. But my self-worth is not tied to what I do for people. And once I realized that and got free from that, so be careful if you're saying yes because you want to feel useful, important, and proud of yourself, because that's an ego thing. And it's a whole lot of scriptures about pride. I ain't even tried to start writing them down. But find them, they in there. Or are you saying yes because you like to be in control of things? I had that one too. See, I had all three of them. That's why it's been taking me so long to get loose from this. You can't be in control of everything. When you try to control things, that leads to you manipulating people. And manipulation is a form of witchcraft. I don't have time. Witchcraft is not of God. And the thing is, when you're doing things because you have to be in control, that means you walking around like this. So not only are you protecting yourself, nobody can get at you, but you can't let anything in. You can't get anything because you just holding so tight. You can't reach out for those things that you need to have. You can't open yourself up for the people who are there for the good of you. So if you're saying yes for any three of them reasons, you're a people pleaser, or you need that because your self-esteem and self-worth is low, or because you have to be in control, which is another part of your self-esteem and your self-worth, then please pray about it, because that's unhealthy and sinful. And you know what? You don't leave room for God to be God. If you don't work on it for any other reason, work on it because you're missing out on part of your blessing. Do it for a selfish reason if you can't do it for the right reason until you can get right. You blocking not only part of your blessing, but other people's blessings. And the last thing I'm going to do is block anybody else's blessing, because you think that you know best and you're going to do it your way. When in reality, sometimes you need to move out the way and let God be God, because he got something bigger and better, but you all in his way. Move. Saying no allows you space to grow into what God has designed you to be. There's a passage in there, and I didn't look it up, but it says the disciples needed rest and he planned to take them away. But I do know that in Luke chapter 9, verse 10, right before the miracle with the 2 fish and the 5 loaves of bread, Jesus had just taken the disciples to be alone after they returned from an assignment that he had given them to heal people. And Jesus often slipped away in the mornings for some alone time with his Father. So please make sure that you say no. Take the time, be selfful, and say no. And I'm seeing we're close to time, so I'm just going to flip right on over here and go to the why. The why is for you. Just be you. Nobody can be you like you can be you. God made each one of us in his own image. Genesis chapter 1, verse 27. The only thing that we should mimic ourselves or fashion ourselves after is him. So be you. Don't try to be Sally. Don't try to be John. Be you. Psalm 139, verse 14 reminds us that we are fearfully, which means lovingly and wonderfully made. We are humanly wondrous. Just be you. You already wonderful. Just be you. Ephesians 2:10 tells us that we're created to perform good works. Be you. Romans 12:6 and 7 reminds us that we have gifts that differ according to the grace within us. How you going to operate in your gifts if you're trying to be somebody else? Jeremiah 29:11 says, I know the plans that I have for you. And he said this to the people before they went into captivity for 40 years. I know what I got in store for you. Just hold tight. Keep being you. I'm with you the whole way. I know what I have for you. Galatians 1:10. Philippians 1:6. And I say all the time, you have to know what you do, who you do it for, and how you do it. And I broke down the other day that the how you do it is the you factor. Nobody can do it like you. But as long as you pretending to be somebody else or you trying to fashion yourself after somebody else, you're not going to be able to do it. So just be you. And when you're not being you, you know what you're telling God? That he was wrong. That he didn't make you right. Don't we have enough of that going on in the world? People thinking that God made a mistake in how he did things. So what I want you to do this week is ask God. Oh, let me go. Oh, I'll go back. Ask God to show you you. Ask him to show you you as he sees you so that you can begin to fall in love with yourself. And then be gracious with yourself. Step out of your comfort zone and do things that you wouldn't have normally done. I'm going to jump back real quick because I forgot to give you your to-dos for S. Your to-dos is for the S's are ask God for peace of mind and guidance to know when you need to take care of you and when you need to say no. Pray fervently when you feel overwhelmed and trust him. That's your to-dos for S. So I hope you've got something useful out of this. I woke up with this on my mind and it just came to me and I wanted to share it. Again, I feel Sundays is a time where we can get together and just be soulful. Get what you need so that you can go into your next week so that you can apply some things and step up your bossy. So if you've gotten anything from this, please share it with somebody. And, number 2 is join the Facebook group. I actually put some new goodies in there this morning. Yes. So if you have not joined, you can either go directly to the Hustle Hub on Facebook, or you can use this link and you'll be right in. And then third, come back. We have a good time. Like I said, Monday I have a special treat because we will be celebrating because again, I will be on 2 platforms. So thank you so much. I went over a little bit tonight. Thank you so much. Have a great night. Relax, refresh, renew, recharge your mind. And I'll see you all tomorrow. Same place. New place. The same place and the new place. I'm so happy about that, y'all. Have a good night. Bye-bye.